Alright, Christopher back. Going through the Australian Greens website content creation part 2, which is the WYSIWYG editor. It's called CK editor, that's the name of it, the module we use, and WYSIWYG is what you see is what you get, which would be great if it works. Basically this is the one. To get through to there we want to go just here up to content management. We're logged in with all the correct rights. Election media releases, and once you get that you pop through to that page and scroll down to and it's the main body. So this is it, and we want to take you through all these things. This is basically where you post your text, hello, I'm a media release, etc. Excuse my awful typing skills. So I'm popping in a bunch of text there. Now most of this stuff you'd be familiar with. The first thing to do if you're getting lost is hover over something, an icon, and you'll find what it is. For example, that's the image one. Over here is the link when you want to put in a link, and they're the two most commonly used one. But as we go across, basically source is pretty good. That's for those of you who know HTML code. So that's if you've ever programmed an actual website from scratch, you don't really need this stuff, but it's good if you wanted to type things around. This one just on the bottom here is for dropping in, say, different kinds of text styles. Now again, normally you wouldn't need this, but occasionally you want to do stuff like drop in a heading. Be careful of heading. The heading is going to be used like the title up here will naturally have a heading anyway, so you don't really generally need to put stuff in the text, but occasionally you would. It will get ugly if you have all kinds of different formatting styles all the way through it. So the key is keep it simple as possible. But we can take that off, just highlight and go back to normal. Okay, the ones down here, I'll get to these, but these are just the typical word processor style things: bolding, italics, underline, etc. And this is for your subscript stuff, and this is say a numbered list or a bulleted list, that kind of thing. And just pop that in or pop that out. Punch paragraphs around, so if we want to do the actual paragraph break there, that was just an enter I put in, and then we can just sort of move that oops, can I? There it goes. Move the whole paragraph across or back again if we want. What's the other one here? I haven't actually used this, it's a new one, but I imagine that's just putting it in quotes. Yeah. Okay, so these ones back to there, let's take that off and go back. We'll do it for this example. So there's a center, justification, that kind of thing. Now I've made all kinds of messes, but you're getting the idea. This is your typical cut, copy, paste bits of text or whatever. This is an interesting one here, that little W. That's for pasting word processor stuff, particularly Microsoft Word. When you just copy text straight out of a Word document, it actually comes with a whole bunch of formatting. It's just a complete mess basically, and it'll stuff everything up and put paragraphs where you don't want and dots and Lord knows what else. So chuck it in here first, and it basically strips it of all that. So that's pretty good. There's a spell checker, forward, back, and sort of undo. Find something in your page. If it's a big one, it's handy. Find and replace. If you've done a mistake or some way of some term you want to just find and replace, you can click on this one, drop that in pretty quickly. These ones here, this is the picture, which I'll do now. So a picture is pretty important. You want to first select on the page where you want it. Like I could put a picture down here, or I could put basically picture at the top here. So I'm going to click on this, the picture icon, and this is the image properties box. If you've got an existing picture and you know where the URL is by itself, you can just drop it in there, but most likely you're going to want to import your own picture. Particularly you want to be careful of copyright. Make sure you have copyright of all pictures you put up on a Greens thing, or we could get pinged. And so this is basically your where to upload the system. So you just click on upload. These are already the ones that you have uploaded already. You can see down here the actual picture itself, but we want to say upload from our own server or our own computer, and what we want to do is say go to documents and Greens, and of course a sensible person would have had prepared this already. Images. and I'll just give you a basic example. Face upload, just a logo, and then we have to hit upload. So there it is down here. So then what we do is we click on that image once it's come up, and it pops it into your system there. Now the one thing I do here, you could change the size there, but ideally you want to keep the size about what it is before you upload it. So change it in your image thing like Photoshop or whatever, or GIMP, before you upload it, because it'll look a bit messy if you try and sort of just change the size at the last minute. Aligning is really important too. So if you align it to the left, the text all runs around to the right. So that's always good. I'll align that there, and you can see up here the text is dropped in there. Again, you can drag this to a different size, but once again, not recommended. It will look a little messier. So that's basically that, how you put in a picture. And when you go through, just back to that for a second, as I said, your stuff that you've put up will always stay here in your little folder, so you'll be able to flick on things that you've already done. Anything else there? The alt text is good for people, particularly with hearing issues, who want to just be able to have hearing devices. They scroll over a picture and it'll read that text to them, so that's always good, just to do a bit of a descriptor there. The other stuff's like for the more advanced people, you can drop in a little flash file there. That's a bit more complicated, most people won't be using that. That's for tables and maybe a horizontal line if you wanted to, like that. Not to be confused with this little beauty here, which is the one in the corner. I'm sorry to be jumping around, but it will make sense to you. Now, this one here puts a teaser line break, it's called. So this means for an introductory thing. Say, for example, on the front page, the intro paragraph will be above and the rest of the story will be below. Now, when you look at the entire media release, you won't see at the line or the division, but when you look at it, say on a front page of something, you'll see that this is like the first 3 paragraphs, and then that's where the line break has been put in, and then when you click on the whole thing, you get the rest of the whole story, but you can't see that line break. So that's what that's for. That's pretty useful. And the other one's just putting in a link. We want to just drop a link, say here, or something typical like click here, and then you can just click on that and put in your URL, like greens, or say vic.greens.org, something like that. That would be .org.au, and bang, you can deal with it there, and then you'll have your link. So that's basically how this system works. That's Christopher signing off.